The knot in my stomach had been a permanent resident for weeks, a dull ache that pulsed with every forced smile and hollow "I love you," I offered Sarah. It was a constant reminder of the betrayal that was slowly unraveling the life we had built together. We were supposed to be the golden couple, the envy of our friends and family. Sarah, with her infectious laugh and my quiet steadiness, a perfect balance, or so it seemed. But underneath the surface, our perfect life was a meticulously constructed facade. It had started subtly, a phone left face down on the counter, a hurried exit when a text notification popped up, the increasingly frequent late nights at work that didn't quite add up. I wasn't born yesterday. I knew something was wrong, but for a while, I desperately clung to denial. I wanted to believe in the woman I had married, the woman I thought I knew, but the weight of her lies grew heavier with each passing day. The turning point came when she left her phone charging next to my side of the bed. Usually, it was tucked under her pillow, like a precious gem hidden from prying eyes. It was as though the universe was presenting me with an open invitation to the truth. That time, my heart hammered as I picked it up. It felt like a sin, an invasion of privacy, but my soul ached for an answer. I'd spent nights sleepless, wondering what was going on, and for once, I wanted a clear answer. It was there in the messages, the sickening proof of her affair, a whirlwind of flirtatious exchanges, clandestine rendezvous, and whispered promises that weren't meant for my ears. I read them over and over again, each word a dagger twisting in my gut. I felt dizzy and sick, as if my own body was turning against me. My initial reaction wasn't anger, but a profound sadness, a sense of loss of the woman I loved, for the life we shared, for the future I had envisioned. Sarah wasn't just my wife. She was my best friend, the person I had always thought I could trust implicitly. The betrayal cut deep, leaving behind a wound that felt like it would never heal. But then the sadness turned to a cold rage, a burning need for justice. I spent the next few weeks in a state of controlled fury, a silent volcano slowly building pressure within me. I knew I couldn't confront her in the privacy of our home. That was a space, the place where she constructed her web of lies. No, I needed to expose her in a public forum where she couldn't hide from the consequences of her actions. Our family was incredibly important to Sarah. She adored her parents, her siblings, and their kids. They all got together every Sunday at her parents' house for dinner, and she lived for those gatherings. The thought of her being humiliated in front of them, stripped of the perfect daughter persona she had carefully crafted, was the only thing that brought me a sliver of dark satisfaction. The following Sunday, I arrived at her parents' house with a mix of dread and anticipation. The scene was as usual. Laughter, the clinking of cutlery, the aroma of a home-cooked meal. Sarah looked at me, her eyes betraying a flicker of unease. It was almost as if she knew something was coming, and the knot in my stomach tightened again, this time with sharp anticipation. I played along, though, sitting next to her as usual, asking about her week, engaging in the small talk that had become so painful. After dinner, as the family settled into the living room, I cleared my throat, feeling every eye on me. My heart pounded, as if I were about to jump from a very high building. "There's something I need to share with everyone," I said, my voice shaking slightly, though I tried my best to remain calm. Sarah's expression was a mass of confusion. I pulled out my phone, connected it to the TV, and projected the text messages onto the big screen for everyone to see. The room fell silent, the casual chatter dying down as the words filled the room. The messages scrolled across the screen, each one a damning testament to Sarah's deception. Her casual conversations with this other man, her planning of their rendezvous. There was no room for ambiguity, no way to twist the context. The evidence was right there for everyone to see. Sarah's face crumpled, her mouth opening as if she wanted to say something, but no words came out. Her eyes darted from the screen to me, then to her parents, who were watching with disbelief and horror. Her siblings gaped in shock, a mixture of disbelief and anger etched on their faces. It was a moment I will never forget. The color drained from her face, leaving her looking pale and fragile. She looked like a child caught in the act of stealing a cookie. Her mother was the first to speak. "Sarah, what is the meaning of this?" she asked, her voice trembling. Sarah tried to deny it. She tried to laugh, to dismiss it as some kind of joke, but her voice cracked, and she started to cry. Her father was completely silent, staring at the screen with a look of fury that was almost terrifying. I watched her crumble under the weight of her own lies. The shame on her face was a sight I craved, a cruel kind of justice that filled me with dark satisfaction. I felt cold as I watched it all play out, as if I were watching a drama unfold on a stage. I felt nothing but contempt for this woman. "I'm sure you all have questions," I said, my voice as steady as I could make it. "I found these texts a few weeks ago. I've been trying to reconcile this with myself ever since, but the truth is, I can't. I can't forgive this." I proceeded to share the details, the full extent of her infidelity, my voice cracking a few times as I did. I watched as her family's love for her slowly diminished and morphed into disgust. I explained that I'd already contacted a lawyer and would be starting divorce proceedings first thing on Monday. I made sure to say it loud enough for everyone to hear. The rest of the evening was a blur. Her family bombarded her with questions, her mother crying openly, and her siblings seething with rage. She tried to defend herself, to explain, but the evidence spoke for itself. The perfect image of Sarah that she had always presented shattered into a million pieces, revealing the deceitful woman underneath. I watched it all unfold, feeling a twisted sense of victory amidst a profound sadness. As I left that night, I didn't look back. I knew that my life would never be the same, that my heart would carry the scars of this betrayal forever, but I also knew that I had done what I needed to do. I exposed her not just to her family, but to the truth of her own actions, and in that, I found a strange sort of peace. Now, the next few weeks were a whirlwind of legal proceedings, division of assets, and the slow, painful process of picking up the pieces of my shattered life. My friends offered support, my family offered solace, but the loneliness was a constant companion. Sarah tried to reach out to apologize, to explain, but I couldn't bring myself to listen. The trust was broken beyond repair, and the pain was too raw. One day, a few months later, I received a text from Sarah's sister. She told me that Sarah had moved away. She said that her parents were heartbroken and still couldn't bear the thought of seeing her. There was a coldness in her words that was a complete contrast to how she used to speak about Sarah. She said that none of them would ever forgive her for what she did, and that they felt just as betrayed as I was. The text was strange. On the one hand, it made me happy to hear that I wasn't the only one disgusted by her actions. On the other hand, it was saddening to think that one person could ruin the lives of everyone around them in such a way. Looking back, I know that revenge is never the answer, that it doesn't bring true healing, but in that moment, it was the only thing that gave me a sense of control, the only way I could find to reclaim my dignity. It was a necessary step, a way for me to move forward, even if the road ahead was long and lonely. I will always carry the scars of her betrayal, but I will also carry the memory of that Sunday, the day I finally found the courage to expose the truth and step into the painful new reality that would become my life.